You just have to get better engagements, flanking, because even if all these EMPs go off, you should be able to find a hole to get in there, and we'll have to see what Whitera's going to do.
Some tense stuff, and ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring you Whitera from Thermaltake Esports. He is actually in the red trunks, never mind, we'll sort that out in a second. And he is playing Protoss to the south of this particular map versus his opponent Thorzain. He is in the blue trunks playing Terran to the east. And
Whitera's chosen this map for a reason, of course. That's something you have to keep in consideration after every single map choice from a player. They have something planned or want to play their favored map. And it's not looking too good in terms of spawning positions here for Whitera, simply because his third base naturally is touching the main base of Thorzain. So it's kind of difficult there, to be honest, because he's going to be able to get dropped so easily from here on out.
Yep. I hate people that change their colors. They're evil, evil players. I feel the need not to buy them pint later. Whatever the case. I'm interested to see what Whitera pulls off here. Whitera is known for one thing, and in fact, no, he's known for two things. Comebacks and, of course, special tactics. The idea that he can simply break out something highly unusual, highly unexpected in order to overcome any adversary. The question is, will he be able to pull it off here against Thorzain? Very precise, interesting build there that Whitera was able to poke some holes in. He was able to get some really good harassment going, and he was able to do some damage. But once the ghosts and the upgrades started kicking in, there really wasn't anything he could do.
Yeah, and we see 13 gateway down for Whitera now, and I feel that he's going to play a slower game than previously before, and Thorzain, on the other hand, taking gas, which is a little bit interesting here. You know, usually we don't see Thorzain take gas ever, and especially on this map, you can get away with Command Center, Barracks Command Center. The only thing that's quite bad when you do decide to do it is the bunker placement. On this map, if you try to bunker up on the ramp, it's actually like 5 inches away from the Command Center, which means you can't pull SCVs to repair the bunker fast enough. So that may be a reason why we're actually just going to see a regular Marauder expand, I feel.
Well, we'll find out very, very shortly, won't we? Whitera is going to scout out and see what he can see, which is very little at the moment. He notices, of course, the second gas hasn't been taken, not that it would be at this stage. He doesn't know whether or not the first gas has been taken either.
He did see an SCV, though, that bringing gas back in. So he didn't actually see the refinery, but he did see an SCV bringing gas in. So he already knows that gas has been taken here. And we do see a reactor going down and a second gas going down. Hello, hello, 111. I think that's what we're going to be seeing here. Thorzain being extraordinarily aggressive right now versus Whitera. But Whitera managed to see gas, I'm sure he did. But at the same time, it looks like he is just going to be going for that Creator expansion, that Zealot Stalker expand.
That could be potentially dangerous. The 111 build has been known to destroy many a Protoss player, many a Zerg. Very, very nice build in general, and it depends just how well it's executed. It's very much an execution-based build in the sense that if you screw it up, you end up being extremely far behind. But we'll find out. I think Thorzain is capable of it. It's interesting to see Thorzain, of all people, actually going for this aggressive strategy.
Yeah, it's actually not something you really see from Thorzain very often, and this Zealot is actually not going to see anything, which is kind of disappointing. But I'm pretty sure that he saw the gas had been taken. So I think Whitera knows that something is up. And I mean, especially because he's going to poke up one more time. He's going to try and get some more scanning information. And is he going to... Let's have a look.
Well, he's going to see 5 Marines, so
yeah,
he will expect. Yeah, I think so.
Whitera knows, simply because there is no command center down on the lower ground yet. Thorzain always builds the command center on the lower ground. He's never builds it inside. So what I expect Whitera to do is immediately throw up these second or third gateway. He can throw the robotics facility down now, but if he wants to blind counter what's going on, you literally build 2 more gateways. And he's going to throw the robotics facility down now to get an observer out immediately, and probably try to get some immortals out too. But he needs to get more gateways up than this. 3 is not enough to hold 111.
Yep, Marine Tank Banshee, very, very nasty build, extremely difficult to deal with and extremely effective. And the first Banshee already out on its way. Generally speaking, you don't add Cloak because you don't have the gas for it, and this is just an extremely aggressive one-base play. Not characteristic of Thorzain at all. Whitera, however, throwing down several extra gateways. I think he smells what's cooking.
Yeah, he's just added on that single extra gateway now that puts him up to 4. That is okay to deal with it. Ideally, you should be going up to 5, but 4 is just as good, actually, to be honest. So we are going to see an Observer come out first from the Whitera to get the 100% confirmation, because you're not sure if it's Cloak, if it's not Cloak, which is why you have to get the Observer out, because there's different variations of 1-1-1, which makes it more difficult. And the single Observer is going to come out, and he does not want to lose the Sentry.
Oh no, the Sentry goes down. That is, you are recoiling in horror from that. That is incredibly bad in order to have the Banshee just pretty much just paid for itself right there.
It's so important not to lose that. That was literally 4 force fields for the 1-1-1. He doesn't have 4 force fields now. Even if he warps in another Sentry to get more, he will never have the same amount of energy that single Sentry had. That was so important to keep that. Against a player like Thorzain, who doesn't make mistakes, you cannot make mistakes like that, and that could have cost him the game now. And here come the SUVs as well, and let's see how Whitera's going to deal with this.
I don't know if he's got the forces for it. I really don't. I think Whitera needs to realize that this is not going to be a good engagement for him. 2 tanks, 2 Banshees, not many Marines, and that is pretty much the all-in right here from Thorzain. And Whitera's got to get defensive right the hell now. He knows what's coming. He needs to prepare as best he can and control this perfectly.
Well, with Stalkers, they are faster than everything there, so they can kite a little bit with their shields, do some damage, you know, maybe catch a Banshee at the front and do a bit of damage, but at the same time he has to spend all the Chrono Boost into the gateways. He's supply blocked, oh my god, at 16, he's not been able to warp in for a while, and now he has to spend the Chrono Boost, and I actually can't see Whitera holding this.
Look at the positioning, that's the worst thing. Whitera has actually got cut in half right there. He's unable to reinforce his natural with those 5 Stalkers. He can't do it. He's got to come down and crush this in the center, and we'll see if he can pull it off. He's going for it right now, wants to focus down the tanks. There are so many SCVs to buffer damage here as well. Whitera losing huge amounts, and the Stalkers didn't even get a look in on that one, and Thorzain smashing his way through here. This is going to be extraordinarily hard to hold.
And Thorzain taking a book out of Slayer's, or taking a page out of Slayer's book.
I think he just stole the book, honestly.
Yeah, he did steal the book, because he's about to just walk away with this win, knocking, oh my god, I can't believe this is actually happening, knocking Whitera out of the tournament. One of the fan favorites, one of the tournament favorites. Warp Prism is a last-ditch effort to possibly drop Zealots onto the tanks, but I really cannot see that working. And Thorzain is now sieged up. The expansion's going to go down. This is so impossible for Whitera to come back from.
Yeah, that was disastrous. That engagement really could not have gone worse for him. Getting split up from the rest of his force with those 5 Stalkers, losing the full Sentry energy. A disaster on, I think, in anyone's book, honestly, by anyone's definition.
The Warp Prism is out. What can he do with it? Last-ditch effort. Maybe he's going to try, I don't know. Is he just going to try and run away and go to Thorzain's base with 4 Stalkers?
Well, he's going to cut off the reinforcements right now, and if Whitera can win this game with 4 Stalkers, that would be absolutely incredible. But look at the number of Marines crashing down on his base at the moment, and this is what he's going to try and do. He's going to actually drop on the tanks, and Thorzain sees it coming, immediately moves in for a response right now. Stalker's just melting. It's not going to happen, I'm afraid. GG, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Thorzain takes it. 2-0. Whitera is out of the IPL4 qualifier, and Thorzain advances in an impressive display of variety in 2